Welcome back to Pact Weekly, where we talk about what we're doing in Pact, why we're doing it, and how to build hungry, humble, smart teams for the fulfillment of the Great Commission. Today I'm going to ask myself and you a question which is a little bit difficult to answer. Would you rather learn to live with someone's unproductive behavior or have a difficult conversation? For me, I know I've been on many teams where I've even been the team leader, and I've allowed people's unproductive behavior to go unchecked. And the result is that tension builds among members of the team, and nobody wants to come to staff meeting anymore, and nobody wants to volunteer for any ministry projects anymore because they don't want to work with the person that's causing the tension. And it's all because I've been afraid to have a difficult conversation with that person. An Olympic athlete doesn't get to the Olympics by himself. He needs a coach, and that coach pushes him to become great. In the same way, in our walk with the Lord, nobody is exempt and nobody becomes great on their own. We all need help from one another, and we all need coaches in our lives to move us forward to greatness. The Bible calls us to admonish one another, to build one another up, to sharpen one another. And so whether you're a team leader or a team member, God is calling us to lean into people that are maybe demonstrating unproductive behavior. So maybe it doesn't have to look like an attack on that person. It doesn't have to necessarily be a pointed conversation where you're wrong and I'm right. It could be something like, hey, I've noticed we have a team norm that we're not on our phones during meetings, but I see you're doing a lot of emails during the meetings. I'm wondering how we could help each other be more engaged in the meetings. What do you think would help you be more engaged in our team meetings? Maybe it looks like, hey, when I was speaking the other day, I noticed you were jumping in and kind of interrupting some of the thoughts I had, and I know how frustrating that can be for anybody. Tell me what we could do to work through that. I know you have a lot of great ideas as well, and I'd love to give you time to share those, but I think other people on our team need to have time to share their ideas. Tell me what we could do differently. And so it could be just asking questions and moving forward. But if those conversations never happen, we're never going to get to hungry, humble, smart teams that are engaged in the Great Commission, because we're going to be butting heads with one another. And so when the question's asked, would you rather learn to live with someone's unproductive behavior or have a hard conversation? I hope that we see that even though the hard conversation is really painful at the time, it's worth it in the long run. And we can all help each other move toward Christ-likeness by leaning into those conversations.